Illuminati mess. Paparazzi catch my fly and my cocky fresh. I'm so reckless when I rock my Givenchy dress. I'm so.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to another tutorial. This has got the Kylie Jenner look from her birthday party. So we're going to prime the skin with the Becca backlighting primer. This is our gorgeous model Sula. I think we all have a little bit of Kylie Jenner inside us, so we're just buffing that primer on with the Real Techniques brush, and we're going to prime the eye here. So we're laying down the MAC Pro Longwear Concealer in the colour NC15. Now we're going to go in with this transition shade from the Becca Ombre Rouge palette and the Sigma E25 brush. We're just going to lay that down into the crease. This is going to map out where we want our eyeshadow to sit. In the photos of Kylie that I saw, it does sit up really quite high and wing out slightly towards the outside. If you go straight in with a dark colour, it can get pretty crazy pretty quickly. Then we're just going to buff that off the Morphe M441 brush. Just backwards and forwards, fluffing that edge, making sure it's really blended. Do that to both eyes. This Becca palette blends really, really beautiful. Okay, so we're going in with the Anastasia Beverly Hills eyeshadow in the colour Fudge, and we're back in with that same Sigma brush. And this was the first time I actually used this shadow, and because Lucy brought it back for me, they're very hard to get in Australia. We've got our hands on them, and wow, do these babies have some pigment. It scared me a little bit. Luckily I did have that shade underneath there to act as a bit of a buffer. So I've just got to do a little bit of work blending here because, like I said, I was pleasantly surprised, but nevertheless very surprised by how much pigment this colour laid down. Then we have our second Anastasia Beverly Hills colour in the shade Sienna. Because I didn't want to make that eye too dark and close the eye off, I just swapped in for a slightly lighter shade. And I wanted to keep it really warm too. This has got a really nice rusty undertone. And to take the edge off of that fudge that I laid down, this is just MAC Saddle. Not entirely necessary, this step, I don't think. I just needed to take the edge off. So we are going to lay down onto half of that eyelid. This is Anastasia Beverly Hills Fawn. I've got the ANQ Cosmetics number 11 brush, my old faithful. Don't want to take that right onto the eyelid because we still want to lay down that beautiful shimmery gold colour that we can see in the photo, but I just wanted to put a shade that would combine those two shades really nice. Now this is two of the Anastasia Beverly Hills metallic colours in the shade Peach Sorbet and the shade Amber. This was the closest I could find that matched the photo, and just pressing that onto the eyelid. These eyeshadows are pretty intense, so you don't want to be swiping because it will give you fallout and won't stick to the lid. You've really got to press it on there. These eyeshadows are very similar to the Makeup Geek foiled eyeshadows. Now we're going to highlight the inner corner with MAC Shroom. This is another ANQ Cosmetics brush. It's so old. It's just a tiny little round brush, nothing special at all. Something, just a small brush, a pencil brush, will do exactly the same thing. just to work in those finer areas so that you're not pushing that too far onto the lid and creating like a really bright eye. Then we're going to go in with the Becca Renaissance gel eyeliner. This is the Zoeva 317 brush. So we're just pushing that down onto the eyelid. Don't have to worry about a flick or anything like that. Just get it as close to the lash line as humanly possible. And then we're going to go in and smoke that out a little bit. So lay that along both eyelashes, and then with just any flat, this is a Max Factor brush that's like 100 years old, but anything that's got soft bristles on it, smaller, will do. And we're just buffing that ever so slightly just to diffuse it off that lash line a little bit. And because it looked like in the picture Kylie had really, you know, elongated kind of cat eyes, but nothing too fierce. Just going to flick it up at the edge a little bit. As you can see that I'm doing there now. You don't want any crazy wing or anything like that. And I chose the brown just because it all ties in with those colours and softens it. And like I said, it's not about the liner, this look. So we're going with the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Wiz in the shade Brown. Very exciting. Just filling in the brows. Sula has pretty fierce eyebrows naturally, so really just following her natural shape, sharpening them up a little bit. And for mascara, we're using the Loreal Volume Lash. Just wiggling that on, just to try and create some fullness in the lashes. I do like this plastic brush, it does pack a lot on. And as you can see in the Kylie Jenner photo, it is all about the lashes. They are definitely out on display, so you really want, and we're going to go put some false lashes. They're the KOKO Queen Bee lashes. To keep this tutorial remotely down on time, we're going to skip to foundation. So we've got the Morphe M439 foundation brush with the Becca Complete Coverage foundation in the shade Cashmere, and we're just buffing that right into the skin. Just around the nose, through the hairline, down onto the neck, and we're going to go in and conceal those under eyes and slightly highlight them at the same time, because that's how Kardashians do it, highlight and contour. They're not famous for nothing. So we're just putting that down, spreading that right down onto the cheek, onto the forehead and the chin, and then just blending that in. This is a Real Techniques. It's actually the Dome Shadow Brush, but I really like these synthetic fibres that this brush has. It's just super soft. And then if you feel like your concealer is not meeting your foundation perfectly, you can just go back in with that foundation brush that you used and just push. Don't swipe or anything, just push. So we're going to set the under eye area with the Anastasia Banana Powder, just to keep that area really highlighted. And this is the Morphe G8 brush. Just fits under the eye nicely. And we're going to set the rest of the face with the Becca Mineral Powder Foundation in the shade Porcelain. Just really pressing that into the skin. We don't want to disrupt the foundation, we just want to set it really nicely so that when we go in with our contour shade, it's going to buff off the skin. It's not going to go in and cause a dead big line that we can't blend. So now we're going with that lightest contour shade. This is another Morphe brush. I will link that one. I can't think of the name of it off the top of my head, but it does have a really nice angle. I know some people like to use this for blush, but I like the angle on it for contouring. It works for me. So we're just going under that cheekbone to really bring out those cheeks. I'm not swiping too hard, just kind of pushing it in and buffing it up a little bit. Now I'm going to chisel out that jawline a little bit. Take that right under there, blend it off, because you really don't want this to look like a beard, ladies. It can go very bad very quickly. The contour. I'm just dusting off that hairline, sorry, nothing too fierce up there. So in true Kardashian style, we're just going to snatch the nose a little bit with that same powder. And this is just a synthetic, it's actually a shadow brush from a kit I bought ages ago. I had about 30 brushes in it from her Glamour booth. It's one from the, comes in the white vinyl. We're just buffing that off with the same brush that we used to buff that under eye concealer. Just that bit of concealer on there is just going to help to really blend that powder off. Now we're going to go in with the blush. This is the Becca mineral blush in the shade Flowerchld with the Real Techniques multitask brush. And we're just flicking that blush up quite high. We're not really focusing on the apples of the cheeks at all. The blush was really a feature in this photo. And we're just going to carve out that contour a little bit. This is just the Becca translucent powder. Any translucent powder will do. You could even go back in with that original setting powder that we did. And we're going to highlight with the Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector in the shade Champagne Pop. So I do know that Kylie has worn this one. I don't know if it's the one she's wearing in the picture, but I do know she has it in her collection and recommends it, so we're going to go in with that. And we're going to line the waterline with the Becca eye pencil in the shade Goya. I'm pretty sure it's pronounced. And then we're going to just buff that off with that same MAC Factor brush and the MAC Saddle eyeshadow. Keeping that to the outer edge. And connecting that outer corner of the top of the eyeshadow. Just so it all really blends together nicely. Really helps to finish off the eyes. And for the lip liner, we're going with MAC Stripped Down. And this is actually going to provide most of our colour, this liner. It's got a really nice browny tone to it, which is really nice for overdrawing the lips slightly, so you can get that little bit more of a plumped look, which, you know, who doesn't want that? So we'll take what we can get there, and we're also going to fill the lips in with that colour, because like I said, that is actually going to be our lip colour today. We're just going to gloss it for a little bit of shine later. Now, when you're lining, you don't want to stretch your lips out. A lot of people make that mistake. They pull their lips really tight, line their lips that way, and then release their lips, and that's just not getting an accurate line of your lips, so you really want to keep them nice and relaxed. You can tighten them slightly for when you go and fill them in, but yeah, really, you do not want to do that when you're lining them. So this is the Bite Beauty lip gloss in the shade Honey. It's got a really nice gold reflect to it. And lip liners can be a little bit on the drier matte side, so we want to just add a little bit of moisture, and there we have it.
Yeah.
I think that she would have got an invite to Kylie's party had Kylie seen this. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed that. Thank you, Sula, very, very much, and we'll see you guys next time. Thank you.